Hey guys, and welcome back to Filmtastic. Today, we are reviewing the top 5 film choices of the 80s. Diving straight in at number 5, it's Back to the Future. Written and directed by Robert Zemeckis, also famous for other films such as Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Forrest Gump, this 1985 science fiction film follows a teenage Marty McFly who accidentally travels back in time to 1955, where he ends up being the romantic interest of his mother by accident. Marty befriends Dr. Emmett Doc Brown, who helps him repair history and return to 1985. The film grossed around £381 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing film of the year. It also spawned 2 sequels, an animated series, a theme park ride, which was at Universal Studios Florida, and a number of comic books. And this brings us to our next choice, which is Top Gun. Still such a popular film, it is crazy to think that it initially received mixed reviews when it was released in 1986. After a few weeks of being in the theatres, the numbers showing the film increased by nearly 50%, meaning that it grossed a whopping $356 million worldwide. The storyline shows a very young Tom Cruise, nicknamed Maverick, training at the US Navy Fighters Weapons School. In his first training session, he defeats the instructor, but with reckless flying, breaks 2 rules of engagement and is reprimanded. Though he was reprimanded, his skill was admired, but his team ethic was lacking, being told that he would never be trusted as a teammate. Later in the film, Maverick's wingman is killed in combat, which nearly leads to Maverick's retirement due to the guilt he felt, although he was actually acquitted of any blame. However, by the end of the film, Maverick is talked back into taking his wings up and is hailed a hero when he shoots down 3 MiGs, showing a new sense of teamwork working with his old enemy Iceman. The film which comes third on our list is Scarface. This film is a remake of the 1932 film by the same name. The plot follows Tony Montana, who arrived in Miami, Florida in the 80s with nothing, working as a poultry pot washer. He believed he was destined for more, and he goes on to become a very powerful drug lord. The film was shot in late 1982 to mid-1983 in Louisville in Los Angeles, and released in late 1983. At first, the reception was mainly negative for this film, critics mainly citing the graphic drug use and excessive violence as the main reasons for the negative reviews. However, in the years that followed, many critics have reappraised the film and it is now considered a great in the crime genre. In at number 2, it's Beverly Hills Cop, as it launched Eddie Murphy into international stardom for the many films that he has since starred in. The film is about a young cop of Detroit in the name of Axel Foley, played by Eddie Murphy, pursuing the killers of his friend. He ends up in Beverly Hills working undercover and gets embroiled in a scuffle in a warehouse that is housing crates of cocaine. It ends with Axel getting the fatal shot on the killer of his friend, but having a cover story fabricated so he is not disgraced. A very popular film, and it showed with it being the highest grossing film of 1984 when it was released, and also receiving the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture. And lastly, our number 1 pick for the top films of the 80s, it's Karate Kid. A film that has the drama, the love interest, the good guy getting a kick in, then coming back stronger at the end and defeating his archenemy. It's got it all. When this film was released, it was hailed by the film critics at the time, praising the action sequences, storyline, and music to name just a few. The story is about a young boy, Daniel LaRusso, who has moved town with his mother. He develops a friendship with a cheerleader at his school to the annoyance of her ex-boyfriend, Johnny Lawrence, who also happens to be a black belt in a vicious form of karate. Mr. Miyagi starts to teach Daniel the basics of karate as a way to appease the fraction between the 2 young boys, but on equal terms in a tournament. With both boys in the final, after Daniel had been dealt a severe blow to the knee by a competitor in the semi-final, Daniel had Miyagi use a pain suppression technique to allow him to fight. Throughout the course of the fight, it's seesawed back and forth until it ends with the crane maneuver and Daniel delivering a blow to the face of his opponent and winning the tournament. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, then keep an eye out for our other Best of the Decade videos coming out in the next few weeks. Until next time.